Good morning.
So where are we?
Chapter 9.
Chapter 9 of the first or second treatise?
First.
I believe there is no loss but only gain.
No, yes, I believe there's no loss, but only gain.
Hi, y'all.
Hi. Hello.
Hello.
Good morning. Hey, Annie. Thanks for being here.
And you? Mm. Mm. Was still looking for that. What did you say it was?
Chapter 9. Treatise 1, isn't it?
In chapter again?
9.
It's the second treatise.
Second treatise.
It
Oh,
is a
second
second treatise. It is.
Ah,
Oh, it is too, yeah.
I put you wrong, sorry.
That's all right. It's just all good. There is no loss, but only gain. Wonderful. Here we go.
Mm.
Shall we rock and roll?
Yeah,
Ready to rock and roll?
yeah.
Everyone's settled? Let's do it. Anybody would like to begin?
Yeah, I'll go.
Go, Kim.
I ask you now to remember a time when you felt from another the desire to help or to meet your needs. Do you not think that this desire is not present in all relationships? It is only the ego that stands between desire and the meeting of desire, needs and the meeting of needs. The word need and the word dependent are only words, and words that would be inconceivable to you in the state of unity before you left it. Now they are just tools, as are many other means of practice that assist you in bypassing your ego mind. Some practices more commonly thought of as tools might be meditation, exercises of the body such as yoga, or exercises of the mind such as affirmations. These tools are all means of releasing ego mind and inviting the one mind or unity into the present moment. When seen as such, all these tools, including needs, can ignite the combination of learning and unlearning the letting go of one so that the other can arrive. Okay, who would like to go next?
I'll go. We are now beginning to speak of the second aspect of treasure that was addressed in the beginning of this treatise as something found that is kept secure and cherished. This aspect of treasure relates to your ability to let go. As many of you will find the idea of letting go of special relationships among the most difficult of ideas contained in this course of study. The ability to let go must be further discussed. When a need is filled, you have been accustomed to having a reaction to this meeting of a need as if it takes place apart from you. Or from outside of you. You assign the meeting of a need to a person or system or organization. You as often feel indebted as you feel grateful for the meeting of needs. When your life is running smoothly and needs are being continuously met, you begin to want to hang on to the relationships that you feel met these needs because of their ability to meet them. When your needs cease being met, you believe there has been a loss, such as with the loss of a job or loved one, or even of the promise of some service. When you think in such a way, you believe in loss and gain.
Nice.
When you think in such a way, you believe in loss and gain rather than in the replacement belief that there is no loss, but only gain. It is perhaps best seen in the contrast implied by the intent to hang on. The desire to hang on to anything assumes that what you have is in need of protection, or that it would not be secure without your effort to keep it secure. Inherent in this assumption is the concept of having or ownership. How does this relate to having needs? By identifying needs in such a way, in the same way that you identify having in regards to possessions, you but continue to feel as if you have needs even long after they have been met. Since I have already stated that you do have needs, this may seem confusing. In relationship, every need is met by a corresponding need. In relationship, every need is met by a corresponding need. It is a dance of correspondence.
Correspondence.
Beautiful, huh?
Oh, thanks.
Anyone else begins to read?
Yeah, I go next.
Go, brother.
All needs are shared. This is what differentiates needs from want. This is true in two senses. It is true in that all needs, from survival needs to needs, for love are literally shared in the same measure by all. The other sense in which needs are shared is in the aspect of correspondence. They are shared because they are known. Every being inherently knows that it shares the same needs as every other being of its kind. Every being also inherently knows the needs and the fulfillment of needs are part of the same fabric. They are like puzzle pieces that fit together. Other beings that share life with you on this planet are not concerned with needs or need fulfillment. Doing what needs to be done in order to survive is hardly the same as feeling that one has a need. Needs are the domain of the thinking being only. Thinking beings share needs because of the way in which they think. Some seem to have more needs than others. It's a fallacy of perception. No one has more needs than another. What is shared by all is not owned. What all have is in no danger of being taken away. All that you are capable of having, you already have as the already accomplished. All that you will give will take nothing away from you. This could be restated as the belief that there is no loss, but only gain. The extent to which you deny your needs or are honest about your needs makes the difference in your connection or separation within relationship. The extent to which you are willing to abdicate your needs in order to attain something is the extent to which your belief in want or lack is revealed. This is the purview of special relationships. Thus, the very compromises you are often prone to making special relationships are but the symptoms of your fear. I am complete. Thank you.
You are.
As soon as you are content or self-satisfied, or in other words, feel your needs are met, the desire to hang on to what you have arises. This is true of knowledge, of what you know and of who you are, just as much as it is of special relationships and what you might more readily think of as a treasure such as a successful career or inspired creative project. As soon as the desire to hang on arises, both learning and unlearning cease to occur. The desire to maintain a state you believe you have achieved and have labeled a state in which your needs are met creates a static level that no matter how good or right or meaningful, loses its creative nature by remaining static.
Mm.
So, how do you remain within the constant creative flux of flow, of creation, without either constantly striving for more of what you already have or for what you consider progress? You need a means of disconnecting this drive that has become instinctual to you. As a being existing in form, you have honed certain instincts over millennia, such as the instinct to survive in order to carry on in physical form. There is no such thing as a static level in unity, where creation is continuous and ongoing. You should have no desire to reach such a state, and the awareness that you are in such a state can alert you or serve as a sign that the ego mind and its fear-based thinking have momentarily returned. This does not mean that you will never be at rest or that you will be constantly seeking to arrive. As has already been said, you have arrived, and rest exists only in the state of unity.
Oh. Beautiful, huh?
Mm-hmm.
Shall we pause there for a moment?
Mm.
Let that sink in. Mm. 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 Because you have not thought previously of needs as tools every bit as valuable as the others mentioned here. This adjustment in your thinking may seem difficult to accept. How does the identification of needs and the dependency inherent in relationship bypass the ego mind? They heretofore have not, only because of your perception of them as signals of what you are lacking. Once this perception has shifted, your ego mind will cease to be fed by these concerns. What is food for the ego mind is fear, and the removal of these final fears will quite literally starve their ego mind out of existence. That's just good, isn't it? Yeah. It's almost automatic when the feelings return, when the will comes back on, it literally grounds your whole system and the mind just stops rambling. That's how simple it is. And understanding of the maturity of needs will aid mutuality of needs will aid you in being honest about your needs, thus allowing them to be met. Then the need to define or to identify them ceases. Your needs only continue to be brought to your awareness as needs until your trust in their immediate and ongoing fulfillment is complete. Once this trust is realized, you will no longer think in terms of needs at all. Oh, it's nice, eh? Once you're no longer concerned with needs and the need and meeting of needs, you will no longer be concerned with special relationships. You will realize that there is no loss, but only gain involved in letting them go. Anyone hasn't read yet?
Holding on to what you think will meet your needs is like holding your breath. Your breath cannot long be held. It is only through the inhaling and exhaling, the give and take of breathing, that you live. Each time you are tempted to think that your needs can only be met in special ways by special relationships, remember this example of holding your breath. Think in such a way no longer than you can comfortably hold your breath. Release your breath and release this fear and move from special to holy relationship. This phase of coming to accept need and dependency is necessary only as a learning ground of experience on which trust can grow. Once this trust, just as you will no longer think of needs. Say that again. Once this trust is realized, You will no longer think of trust, just as you will no longer think of needs. Ceasing to think in these terms will soon be seen as a valuable ability, a time-saving measure of great magnitude. As these old ways of thinking leave you, you will be left as who you are in truth.
Wow. Okay, should we go on? Chapter 10.
Mhm.
The belief we only learn in unity.
Mm.
You would have
Yeah.
yes. You would have to work mightily to turn the lessons of this course into a tool. But many of you will not tire of this work until you succeed. This is how truths become dogma, and dogma becomes tyranny.
Jesus, that's
I did that with a Zendo in Santa Fe. Yeah. Dogma. This happens by accepting a static state. A static state is not a living state because creation is not occurring within it. Ooh. This is a living course. I'm going to say that one again. This is a living course. This is why you are called to live it rather than to take it.
Mm-hmm.
This is why you are called to be a teacher and a learner both. This is how the exchange of giving and receiving as one occurs. This exchange is unity. Whoa. My body is tingling.
Yeah.
This exchange
no
is
static.
unity.
It's no longer static, right? You begin to vibrate.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. That's the aliveness that happens when we release the structure of thought patterns that keep us frozen. Beautiful.
Wow. Thinking that needs can be met only in certain ways is akin to another belief that has been replaced.
Mm.
This belief was first expressed in A Course in Miracles by the saying, resign as your own teacher. Oh, Sammy. This belief in the self, the little self as teacher, has now been replaced with the belief that you only learn in unity.
Bingo.
Oof. I am complete with that. Right, Sam? Resign as your own teacher.
This is a good one to address, resign as your own teacher. Because I thought I've resigned as my own teacher for many years. I was tripping. Did not resign at all. I convinced myself that I have.
Mm.
Yeah, and that's a really good question to sit with and go like, have I resigned as my own teacher? And unless you can say clear yes, you will have a no. For me, this was like the major shift in consciousness. It was like, oh shit, to all these years, believing that I've resigned, and then I was asking Holy Spirit. I wasn't. I was talking to a Holy Spirit with just an idea in my mind that was not real at all, because he wasn't responding. Anyway, I think this is like a lovely thought to address in our mind, to go like, have I resigned as my own teacher? Yes, the minute I did, that was an experience of unspeakable love. Like, it was so crazy. It had nothing, like you could not compare it to anything ever, ever. It's like virtually when I resigned, Jesus was right there, going like, you ready, brother? Let's dance. And that's what, for me, is like, if that Jesus, when we say I resign as my own teacher and then Jesus shows up, then it's probably happening. Don't want to place any limits on it, but yes.
I mean, it's, he talks about the atonement as being undoing. It's an undoing of all our previous beliefs and patterns of thinking, isn't it?
Mm.
Those are when we're willing to let those go, we've resigned as our own teacher.
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
We need to resign as our own teacher as long as things remain static.
Yeah, I like that. Even what I learned here today, like even from this book and from you all, when I step into the next moment and or with the next, person or relationship, it it shifts enough that it's almost like you can never get a hold on it, and that's a good thing. Like that's the unlearning for me. That is like, I will never get it, whatever it is in my head, like at the moment, in the next moment, it may and probably will be totally different, like walking into the river differently every time.
Oh, so it's like when we think we know and we haven't resigned, it just becomes all like static and frozen according to that. Oh, okay.
You become nailed. You're nailed to the cross. You can't move. And it's done by your own volition also. No one nails you to the cross but you, yeah? It can myself I crucify, yeah?
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, so in thinking we know what the world is. completely destroyed. Oh dear, like it's a wreck. Yes. Oh, yeah.
All right. Who's next? Anyone hasn't read yet?
Mm.
I can read. What paragraph are we on?
10.3.
Mhm.
I ask you.
I ask you to think for a moment of a time when you attempted to recall a specific memory. This may have been a memory of a name or address, of a dream, or an attempt to recall a specific event. At such times, you often feel as if, just as the memory is about to return to you, it is swatted away as easily and routinely as a hand swats away a fly. You know that the information is contained within you, and yet you are often forced to accept an inability to have access to this information. It is forced from your awareness by something you know not. It is there and yet swatted away as if by some unseen hand.
Mm.
Where has this information gone? And what keeps it from you? You might feel frustrated. Oh, I lost my place. Oops. Just a second.
Take your time. Take your time, brother.
You might feel
away.
the Kindle on my phone. It's just kind of playing with me. You might feel frustrated with your memory at such a time and even say something such as, my brain just isn't working right today. I want you now to keep this example in mind as we explore learning in Unity. You might think of Unity as you have so often thought of your brain, but rather than thinking of it in the singular, think of it as a storehouse of giant brain in which all that has ever been known or thought is contained. The technology that has created supercomputers will immediately come to mind from this illustration. While this illustration may be distasteful to some and intriguing to others, how many of you would not want to replace your ability to know with the ability of that of a supercomputer?
Mm.
Mm.
While it's just an illustration, the reverse of this is akin to what you have done by replacing unity with singularity. You have narrowed your ability to know to an ability to know that which you have experienced. While what we are speaking of as knowing has little to do with the information stored in our supercomputers, it is still a worthy illustration. For just as supercomputer needs a knowledgeable operator in order to provide the information sought, so too do you need become knowledgeable in order to access all that is available to you.
Mm-hmm.
And then
Oh, that's like the supercomputer is sorry, step back. Non-static. Like non-static is like AI. It creates from the moment. It doesn't stay static.
I reckon AI is static myself, but anyway.
Really? Oh.
Yeah, like it's artificial. And the real thing is not static.
Mm-hmm.
Mm.
It's like the kingdom has very little to do with anything that it's around us.
Mm.
The kingdom is within.
Yeah.
And anything we make as outside of ourselves is the form of
But you know what? When that you might feel frustrated came up, a picture came up of my mom and other Alzheimer's patients I volunteered with, where there's kind of a line, like they were frustrated because they couldn't remember, like memory, like this is talking about. But at some point, they crossed this line and they were no longer agitated. It's almost like they accepted some form of unity with the God, like, and they seemed very peaceful after that.
Hmm.
Would you like me to read?
Yes, darling.
Just as needs have been shown to be shared in like measure by all, so too is true knowing. Just as needs were shown to be distinguishable from wants by a discussion of their shared nature, so too now must knowing be distinguished from what you consider intelligence.
Mm.
While you are being told that you can no longer believe that what you know is related to experience, you are not being told that you have exactly the same knowledge as does every person of every variety and level of experience. Yet no one can know more of the truth than another, and no one can know less.
Mm.
Yes, this truth is one. There is no more truth or less truth either. It's either truth or not.
Oh,
Yeah.
just beyond your mind's ability
Mm.
to call it forth lies the truth that you and all other beings know. The access to what seems to lie beyond your ability lies in the Christ in you. You might think of the ego as the hand that swats away this knowing.
Mm.
Mm.
Mm-hmm. Wow, that's amazing, eh?
Yeah.
That fool of an ego thinks it's a fly. dear.
Mm.
Oh, dear.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the ego is the teacher you have relied upon when you have relied upon yourself as your own teacher.
Oh my God.
Swat. Hmm.
Oh.
Hmm.
Mm.
Wow. And then it says,
Mm-hmm.
you forget constantly that the Christ in you is the learner here.
Oh.
Yeah. Wow.
Mm.
What need is there for a computer brain or for the ego to be teacher when the learner in you is the all-powerful?
Mm.
The learner in you is the unifying force of the universe. The learning you are in need of is the learning that will call who you are back to your united mind and heart.
Mm-hmm.
This is the knowing that already exists, the memory that is swatted away by the ego.
Mm.
Mm. Mm.
Hmm. It's like a remembering, isn't it?
Yes.
Mm.
Mm-hmm.
Right, 10:11, Kevin.
There's someone else?
I'll go again. Why then is this called learning? Learning simply means to come to know. If what you know has been forgotten, you still are in need of the learning that assists you in coming to know once again. But as long as you continue to attempt to learn with your ego, or in other words, as long as you would continue to attempt to learn in the same way that you have previously learned, you will not learn, because the you that will be involved in the learning process will not be the real you. The Christ in you is the real you. The Christ in you is the self who you become when you have united heart and mind once again in wholeheartedness. Thus, the union of mind and heart is, as was stated previously, the first union, the union that must precede all the rest. You are in a state of unity when you have achieved wholeheartedness.
Bingo.
Oh, you are in a state in which you are able to learn. I am here to show you the way to the Christ in you. I began by teaching, by appealing to your heart, so as to ready you for the return of wholeheartedness, the state of union in which all that you learn is shared, first by mind and heart, and then in unity with your brothers and sisters. You achieve this state only by listening to one voice, or, in other words, by ending the separated state, which is the state in which the ego exists. The end of the separated state, or the ego, is the beginning of your ability to hear only one voice, the voice we all share in unity.
Mm-mm.
Mm.
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 Was it me next? I think it was.
Mm.
This voice speaks to you in 1,000 ways. It is the voice of love, the voice of creation, the voice of life. It is the voice of certainty that allows you to move through each day and all the experiences within it as who you are in truth. It releases you from the feeling of needing to control or protect your treasure.
Oh.
It releases you as well from the static state of trying to hang on to who you were yesterday or trying to prevent change tomorrow. As was said in the beginning, it is realized that it is hard for you to believe that the Christ in you is in need of learning. Think a moment of why this should be so. Is there ever a moment in which coming to know is not appropriate? Is there any reason that coming to know should not be seen as something continuous and ongoing?
Mm.
Again, your desire for a static state would make you rather listen to your ego as it prescribes learning for certain circumstances that would be quickly put behind you or chosen for specific outcomes. While many love to learn for the sake of learning alone, still they would be loath to give up or let go the ability to choose their lessons. And still we are only talking about learning as you have perceived of it, rather than learning from life.
What difference does it make to your concepts of learning when you think of life as your coursework? Would you be any more willing to let another choose your lessons for you? What are your plans and dreams but chosen lessons? While you do not think of them as such, you do not think of life as your learning ground. You still think of lessons as being about a specific subject matter. When life does not go as you have planned, you feel as if your chosen path has been denied to you. You often feel a sense of loss and rarely one of gain. Unless life goes the way you have intended for it to go, you do not feel gifted or blessed, even when you may have looked back often on situations that did not go as you had planned, and nevertheless gifted you with experience or opportunities that will not have arisen had your chosen plan come to fruition. The Christ in you has no need to plan. The Christ in you has no need to plan. A need to come to know, yes, but a need to plan, no. The Christ in you needs not for you to choose a lesson plan, but to let life itself be your chosen way of learning.
Mm.
Mm.
I would just like to read one more paragraph. I mean, it really touched my heart. And I wanted to say to Ellison, can you read this again, please?
Mhm.
Ellison, would you like to read 10.14 for me again, please?
Would you like to read it, Chantal?
No, I would love you to read it.
Oh, okay.
Thank you.
This voice speaks to you in 1,000 ways.
Mm.
It is the voice it is the voice of love, the voice of creation, the voice of life. It is the voice of certainty that allows you to move through each day and all the experiences within it as who you are in truth. It releases you from the feeling of needing to control or protect your treasure. It releases you as well from the static state of trying to hang on to who you were yesterday or trying to prevent change tomorrow.
Would you also read 10:19 again? It's pretty short.
Me?
Yeah. Yeah.
That was Rubens. Is that all right, Ruben?
Yes.
Yeah, I want to hear it in a different voice.
Well,
Hey. Oh, who's
go
reading?
ahead,
Okay.
Alison.
The Christ in you has no need to plan. A need to come to know, yes, but a need to plan, no. The Christ in you needs not for you to choose a lesson plan, but to let life itself be your chosen way of learning.
Mm.
Mm.
Such a gift.
Yeah, it's the whole idea of like the Christ in us is not a conceptual thing, is it?
Mm.
And no thought required. Mm.
The way, the truth, and the life. Yes.
Mm. Beautiful. Mm. 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 Beautiful darlings. I got to go to work today, so I'm just going to say we'll catch you next week. Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Well,
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Blessings. We'll talk soon. Ciao.
bye.